Chairman, board members, it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm here to reemphasize what you saw on the field, to live in an environment where you see the effects of the coal ash and the history of what has taken place, being in coalition and president of the NAACP in Stokes County, and along with the Appalachian Boards, Southern Law, Environment, lawyers, and coal ash, fracking, whatever that affects our environment, it affects all of us. Indirectly some, but directly a whole lot of people. Every place that there's been fossil burning fuel used for the purpose of generating energy has created the same ailments: cancer, neurology, strokes, heart attacks. I've lost many of my friends, classmates, even family members in regard to the results or indirect results of things that have been in our county for over 48 years. The ash was blown out. You see tunnels of cloud, look like a cloud formed from that, and then they form a buffer to be included in the process, but still the elements were going into the air and landing on the land. Direct vicinity within a half-mile radius, you could see vegetation that died. You could see apple trees and fruit trees that did not produce fruit anymore. That's evidence to let you know that the elements and all the toxins that were going into the nation of our county were being exposed to our grounds, our waters, and everything. Stokes County is unique because we don't have municipal water. Everything that we use is based on well, ground. This stuff has been filtrated. They came and offered the filtration to those people that were within a half-a-mile radius, but we understand that people had water that was contaminated 6, 8, 10 miles down the road. This thing did not impact just Stokes County, but people in communities like Giffords, Forsyth County. This stuff was blown throughout the world. And then to come up with a plan of action to put a cap in place. We got 12 million tons of ash dust that's stored in our community. If something like a hurricane or a major disaster comes along, there's no guarantee that the safety of that net will prevent that from going into our soils and creating the same health issues that we face now. You can look at the results of every ash facility that is stored. The same medical problems are incurred. High percentage of cancer, high percentage of heart attack, high percentage of people that has to have COD is breathing with help now. I don't know about you, profits is not above saving lives. And are we gonna sell out to the corporation that has all the means and the money to do what they need to do? That's not to leave that poison standing on ground where it can go into the point of affecting people's lives, just not our lives, but the future lives of our children. The number of children that had asthma in direct vicinity of that facility was great and high. We had one family that lived in less than a mile of the facility. They moved to probably about 10, 11 miles from that facility. Every member of that family had asthma, with the exception of the last child that was born that was moved into a facility far away from where the ash was. So that gives you evidence that it's something evidently in what we drink or what we breathe is causing all these problems. Even though Duke Energy has their scientists and they have their means, they have money, they can do a lot of things, they can influence a lot of people. But we feel that when they held the DEQ hearing in Stokes County, one of the first, that they didn't give us ample enough time to speak to or talk about. It was not a public forum. It was set up like a planned action by Duke Energy to get their points across what they felt would be the best thing. But we feel, and our voice is that we want it moved. We want it taken out and placed in a line and then put in a storage area where it cannot affect the groundwater and our natural earth. So we're here today to try to encourage you because we feel that we're not getting a fair share to get our voice heard. Now, I'm glad that you took the initiative to vote on doing something to send into DEQ on making a statement. I was hoping you'd do it today and not wait and put it off to tomorrow because time is winding down. It's time that we have a voice, and we feel that we don't have a voice in our own state in regard to what has happened in our legislation, the conditions of the elements and things that were under control of DEQ and changing because of the request of Duke Energy to lower the standards of our water. God gave us a right to have good breathing air, clean air and clean water. We get a double dose in Stokes County. And I imagine they're getting the same thing in Belmont and all the facilities. 5 years ago, we had a spill in the Dan River, which is a major source of water that comes through our county. Those people are still feeling the effect of it. Duke Energy was fined $6 million. And they made a legislative move that they would clean every pit up and clean it all up. But now we see that they're only cleaning 4 sites. We demand and we request that you be a forceful voice for us in moving that action forward, that all the pits that are covered with ash be removed, excavated, placed in a lined facility and stored. And that Duke Energy bears the cost of doing all this and do not put it on the consumer, because that's what they already incorporated and initiated a bill for tax increase, an increase on their power bill. It's time for our voices to be heard. We ask you to be that voice for us with DEQ. To speak it loud, then speak the truth. Because lives do matter, and all lives matter. They put them in rural areas, they put them in low minority communities. And we are feeling the brunt of this. I've lost too many classmates, I lost too many family members. I lost my father with pancreatic cancer, I lost my youngest sister with lung cancer that lived in a community, that gardened and raised their crops and raised their gardens in this area. We have been taking this. It's just like you putting something in your coffee that could bring harm to you. You cannot allow this to be done. So we're asking you as a advisory committee to put a little more heat on DEQ, to do the right thing. Because righteousness will overcome evilness. And I think what we're facing now is the greed of corporations that do and put stuff in our yards and don't want to clean it up. So I encourage you. I heard some good things today, some good things that's happening. So I'm asking you to be a voice for all those who have been affected by this fossil burning fuel that have accumulated and ash within our counties. Thank you.